Well, car custom paint pimp, Sexy Saturn. This is what I always use. Old man always used it. I always use it. And I always use Fram, because Fram has a little gripper thing, and you don't have to put it on with a wrench. And you always put oil on the seal before you put it on there. And I always use Lucas, always. I'm not saying it's a mechanic in a can. I'm just saying I always use it. Because if you go in Advanced Automotive, they have a thing that's like 3 gears, one on top of each other. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's got a little handle, you turn it. And this Lucas sticks on the gears and rides all the way up. And they have the same thing with 3 gears, and they have regular oil, and the oil doesn't grab up on the gears because it ain't thick. Okay. See, it says you can put it, see, most oils you can only put in, like, they got a different rating on it. Let's see if I can find it. It's not the SAE rating for cars. It's something else. Anyway, I know for motorcycles you have to have where is it at? You have to have that rating because it goes into the clutch too. It's a wet clutch. You gotta have the SJ. Anyway, my point being, some yahoo on YouTube says some bullshit about a Harley-Davidson. Says that, you know, if you want a Harley that basically lasts longer, if you don't want a Harley, which I do, and you want to look like a Harley and you want to last longer, buy a Honda Gold Wing. Really? Okay. Here's my motherfucking point. The Lucas is made for automotive. But check this out. Controls heat, wear, and high performance motorcycles, especially Harley-Davidson. Doesn't say Jap motherfucking junk on it. Anyway. Motorcycle owner operator signature, my white pass. That's a good thing. I know guys, they don't even have a fucking cycle endorsement license. I don't even know if they can pass it. But anyway, I always buy a couple quarts so I can pour the Lucas in there because it gets real sticky, and I use this as a funnel and throw it away. Because I'll show you Lucas. If you ain't never used it, it's pretty pricey. It's $31.97. It's almost like honey, and it clings to your motor. It's really sticky. See, oil would have ran off by then. Anyway, that's what I use. And then, man, see, that's what I mean. Watch this. It's like honey. And they showed me that little thing. I got a buddy of mine that is a better wrench than me, is spinning wrenches. He got me started on anything I value, like my S10 or my bikes or something. My Corvette, I use Lucas as additive. Everything else, the Sexy Saturn, I shouldn't say bad things about the Sexy Saturn because it's only only a 1.9 liter. Well, we live in Michigan. We live 5 to 7 hours away from Sault Ste. Marie, the northern part of Michigan. I went up and bought this bike, this bagger, and I don't know what it weighs, but we hauled this bagger back on a trailer from Sault Ste. Marie Michigan with this fucking raggedy ass 1.9 car going up and down hills, and she was boggling, but she rolled, man. I pushed her to the limits. Anyway, my buddy got me started on this too, because like I say, he's a better wrench than I am. And it's not cheap, no. Mobile One, full synthetic. It's not cheap. And I always use tin number 30. I don't care. Everybody else can use whatever they want to use. Just telling you what I use. Anyway, Greg Porter. Yeah. With the Carmagia. Well, before we get to there, I did go buy a new filter. Quite a bit of difference. And this filter is only $8 at Advanced Automotive. And I always pull the, I'm not saying I always use this. If I could have bought a Fran filter, I would have, because I like them. But I couldn't, and I got tired of shopping. So I always tape down there and write down the, I try to change it every year, basically. And right there is the cover of foam. It does expand out a little bit when you put in gasoline, and it won't shrink back, so you just gotta rig it. But that's what's just in the, that's just what was, well, let me turn some light on up in this place. See the filter, how dirty that was? Yeah, okay. And then this was the outer cover. And everybody knows what gasoline looks like. And that's what the pre-filter called. Gasoline, you could basically see through it. And my dad taught me, like on a dirt bike, you rinse the foam filter out, and then you put a little oil on the edges, so it'll catch the dirt. Another thing is that I use a lot of times, and a lot of guys, sand railers use, is they'll use a woman's stocking and put it over the filter, because it'll suck the air and the dirt won't penetrate through the pantyhose or whatever. Pantyhose can be expensive. Okay, to Greg Porter. He's asked about my sewing machine and what I use. So I'm going to show you. Sun's kind of coming out. It is, it's old. Where is it at? It's a Viking Husqvarna. Dirt bikes actually made it. Okay, and it's not gear driven. And this is what kind of needles I use. They're leather needles, and they're SCHMETZ. They're for leather, so you get 5 for. They're $1 a piece. They're worth it. Otherwise, you'll bend needles quick. Here's the thread I use. It is by Coates and Clark. It's 100% nylon. And when you buy it in a store, you can't break the thread. You know, when you put it around your fingers, that's what I liked about it. You can buy it at Walmart. See, it's upholstery. I was wrong. The button thread I use is when I sew by hand. It's called a Glover's needle. So in the corners, if it isn't as tight as you want, you can turn around, and you can always tell a leather needle, a Glover's needle, it's got 3 sides to the point. It's not round. It cuts. That's what I use button thread for. And this is not gear driven, like I said. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 thickness of leather. You don't want to force it through. You just want to let the machine do what it wants to do. Just be nice. And Greg, when you go down and, okay, say you want to go around the corner, see how the needle's penetrated through? That's when you want to lift it up. You probably already know it. And you turn it. Turn your material. It's hard to hold this and do this. Because what you have is, see, mine's broke off, you have a big wheel. See, and while you're sewing with your foot, you can rotate this slow to guide your wheel, which is nice. I don't have it because I just don't have it. And what you want to do when you're setting up your machine is you just want to, don't make that thing go 50 miles an hour. See, this thread just came out. You don't want to make it go 50 miles an hour. Okay, let's see if I can get this. There we go. And you see I'm using just to practice, white thread on top, black on the bottom, because the reason what you want to do that for is when you get confused and throw this all around like this, you still know what the top is. Top is white thread, bottom is black. You just do this because what you want to do is you want to cut in between here to see if half the thread of white went in and half the thread of black went in, because you don't want the white thread to pull all the way up, because you'll see it here, and you don't want the black. Now looks like it's pulling the black up a little bit high, and you just adjust it. So you go back and cut it. See, I did some other sewing on here too. Okay, let me get to the circle part. See, you probably can't see, I'm bucking all over the place. Anyway, you want to, anyway, you can see this is, see, you can tell the thread is pretty good when you got to cut it with a razor blade. You can't just, okay. So you can tell this is pretty thick. This is basically thicker. This is cowhide. I don't know what thickness this is, but you're probably not even gonna go that thick. But that's what I use. See right there. Can you see that? Okay, here's 2-ply here. See, there's 2-piece here and 2-piece here. And when you go in here, so get it focused again. Get that loop out of the way. There you go. You see where you can see the black and the white? Right there, that means it's the black's going in 50% and white's going in 50%, and that's what you want. You don't want the black to be up on the top on this side or the white to be on this side. Kind of hard to explain. Okay. Enough with show and tell. Here's what you do when your line collapses on the floor and you don't want to dig up the floor. You run PVC and you run it up the wall, which I don't really like, but it's in the basement. It's ghetto fabulous and it'll never clog. Because after, well, I moved in this house in 1952. So I will show you what your pipes look like after 50, 60 years. No, she didn't like that. Yeah, see that? Like that? My wife didn't like that. Because she wasn't glamour girl that day. She didn't have her makeup on and everything. But anyway, I'll probably hear that later. This is what your pipes look like after 50, 60 years. It's just normal, and that was just the kitchen sink drain, and it did get worse in some spots too. Let me see if I can find it. Let me try some light on here. The light ain't on. Yeah. She wasn't, so you could tell when you put PVC white in your house, you can hear the water go shoo, real fast. And see what that is? That's a little tool that I made with nails in it, but I gotta go back and put bolts in it, weld it, so Mama can stand on it and basically stand on the grass and puree or whatever, make holes in the ground so water soaks in, so we have beautiful grass. Yeah. What do you got, 3 videos in one day? Wow, that's pretty goddamn good, huh? I think this will be the end of it. I gotta get some shit done. Yeah. Peace of mind, peace of property, peace of oneself, piece of pussy. Yeah, piece of something. Peace.